ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त नाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासुदेव गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थसुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदयादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य कलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहैतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 33, verse number 3. So in this chapter it is described how Krishna, he again started his dance with the gopis after he came back and gopis received him. They were very joyous, blissful to see him again, and then they started their Rāsa-līlā. So that's what was said in verse number 2. Any question before we start? So it says, Rāsotsavah sampravritto गोपी मंडल मंडितः योगेश्वरेण कृष्णेन तासां मध्ये द्वयोर्द्वयोः प्रविष्टेन गृहीतानां कंठे स्वनिकटं स्त्रियः यम्मन्येरन्नभस्तावद् विमानशतशङ्कुलं दिवोकशां सदाराणाम् औत्सुक्याप्रीतमात्मनाम्. So रासोत्सवः संप्रवृत्तः गोपी मंडल मंडितः. So then Rasotsava, the festival of Rasa, began, and this was adorned with the group of gopis in a circle, and this was done by Yogeshwara Krishna. So Yogeshwarena Krishnena Rasotsava Sampravritta. And Krishna was there because gopis were some 3 billion of them. So he was, if there are 3 billion people and you are one person, nobody will see you except few around you. So it is not like that. So tasam madhye dvayor dvayo. He was in between 2 gopis. So means every gopi could see Krishna with her. And how is that he was able to do that? Because Yogeshwarena, because he is Yogeshwara. So by his yoga power, his yogic shakti, he manifested himself in 1.5 billion forms, right? Because he says that there were 2 gopis and 1 Krishna, or actually 3 billion forms, because there are 2 different ways of explaining it. So 1 gopi, 1 Krishna, 1 gopi, 1 Krishna, that's how you see the paintings. And another one is that there are 2 gopis and 1 Krishna. So pravishtena grihitanam kanthe niktam striya. So these women, they saw Krishna right next to them, and he was holding them by their neck, means his hands were on their shoulders. And yammanyaran nabhastavad vimana satas sankulam. So this yammanyaran applies to the previous part of the sloka. That's striya yam swaniktam manyaran. That the gopis, they saw that he was right next to them, means each gopi saw that Krishna was near to them. And at that time something more interesting happened, that some spectators also came. And these spectators were divine spectators. So Divoksam means which live in the divine space. So Nabhastavad Vimana Shata Sankulam. There are hundreds of aeroplanes. So it's not that aeroplanes came only by after Wright brothers. It is mentioned here. So hundreds of aeroplanes were hovering in the sky, and these aeroplanes had the ability to be stable like helicopters and not making any sound. Otherwise, here, think of thousands of aeroplanes, how much noise they will make. You won't hear any music of Krishna and gopis. So they were silent spectators, did not have any mobile calls or anything like that. And Sadaranam, and they were not alone, these devas, they came along with their wives. So the devas descended from the Devaloka in their planes along with their wives, and they were very eager. Autsukya aprita atmanam. So their minds were completely captivated. And that's why they came. So they got the news somehow, and they could come and see this most wonderful pastime of Krishna with gopis. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti, he explains this little elaborately. Tat sahitya prakaram darshayati Rāsa-līlā. So he is explaining how they were together. Sahitya means how did they do this Rāsa-līlā? How did this meeting happen? Because in the previous sloka it was said that they began this Rāsa-līlā and the gopis, they had their arms together, anya baddha bahuni. So that is being described here now in little more detail. Sadakshara nyuna sardhena rasa eva utsava. So this is being described in 2.5 slokas, 6 letters less, or actually 1.5 plus 6. So he has a very interesting take on this. So first word used here is Rasa-utsava. So it means Rasa and Utsava, 2 words. So he says Rasa eva Utsava. That this Rasa dance was the Utsava. Utsava means festival. So this was a fest. Like they have dance fest, kirtan fest. These days kirtan fests are common in Europe and America. So this was the dance, kirtan, singing fest, and a lot of people. And all of them are singers. They are not spectators. All of them are dancers, all of them are singers. So you can imagine the festival. When you go to the kirtan fest, there are few people who know how to sing or who sing. There may be few kirtan parties, but here all of them is a party. So bhakta jana dringa manas chatakebhya ananda amrita pradayaka. So why it is called Utsava festival? Because festival is that where people get together and there is some entertainment. So what is the entertainment here? He says that this is a giver of nectar of bliss to the mind and eyes of the devotees who are like the Chataka birds. So you know about the Chataka bird, which drinks only the rain cloud water, rainwater. So the devotees whose minds are fixed only on Krishna, they don't want to see anything. So their mind and their vision for both, because it was a spectacle to see Krishna dancing with gopis, and also absorption of the mind. So just like Chataka bird, since he waits so much for the rain to happen, so you can think what kind of absorption this bird must have. When the clouds come, then she's just looking, because that's the only water she drinks. So that's why this example is being given here, that this is Ananda Amrita. So water is also called Amrita. So this is the Amrita of Ananda. So Samyag eva pravritta. So Sampravritta, the next word is Sampravritta, means it began, and it began very beautifully. So therefore it is Sampravritta. Or it means that all of them were engaged in it. That is also the meaning of Sam, together, Pravritta. Kena Pravritta, who started it? So he says, Tasam Mandal Rupena Avasthitanam Gopinam Dvayor Madhyena Pravishtena Krishnena. So gopis were standing in a circle, Mandal Rupa, and Krishna entered in midst of them. Means Krishna, and there are 2 gopis on his both sides. Atra sampravartitah iti anukte. So now he has very interesting observation. So he is not saying that Krishnena sampravartitah. He says that it is the utsava which started. So Krishna was dancing with the gopis. He says Rāsa-utsava sampravartitah. That it is the Rasa festival which began, means as if the festival is the agent and Krishna is an instrument. One is to take this in a passive voice, means Krishna is the agent, but the sentence is made in passive voice. Then Krishna is still the agent. But he is saying that no, Krishna is an instrument of Rāsa-līlā. Because instrument also takes third case. Third case comes when the agent is put in the passive voice, or if something is an instrument, then instrument also takes. So he is taking here Krishna as an instrument of the festival. Means the festival began by making Krishna as its instrument. That okay, Krishna, come here, I want to begin. So you be my instrument. Like if you have to start something, if you want to start writing, you need a pen to write. So then pen becomes your instrument. So this is how he is taking. This is a very interesting take. So therefore he says that Krishnena atra sampravartita iti anuktehe. So he is not saying that the festival was begin by Krishna. Because Krishnena Rāsa-utsava sampravartita. Instead of like that, he says Rāsa-utsava sampravartita. The Rasa festival began. So that's what he says. Swatantra kartrikatvam tasmai rasaya dadata swam cha karnatvam bhajta Sri Krishnena swasmat sarv shaktibhyascha sarv lilabhyascha rasasya eva mahotkarsha swadatto vyanjyamase. So what is the meaning? That Krishna gave his agency to the Rāsa-līlā, as if Rāsa-līlā is a person. So he says that you be the agent and I will be your instrument. Instead of I being the agent and you being my instrument, that Krishna did Rāsa-līlā, no. You do and I be through me, by me. So this means that Krishna, he gave swasmat sarv shaktibhyascha sarv lilabhyascha rasasya mahotkarsha swadatto. So by this, Krishna is implying that this rasa is glorious, more glorious than himself, more glorious than all his potencies, and more glorious than all his pastimes. So therefore Rāsa-līlā is the supreme, because Krishna himself is an instrument and all these gopis are his Shaktis, they are all instrument of it. And it is superior than any of his other activities. So therefore he says Rasasya eva mahotkarsha swadatto vyanjyamase. Ateva Lakshmi prabhritaya api tam labdhum utkanthata eva natu labhanta iti. And this is the reason that even Lakshmi wanted to participate in that. Because Krishna made this Rāsa-līlā so glorious that it became attractive even to Lakshmi, who never leaves Narayana, who is called Anapayini. So she wanted to be part of it, but she was unable to enter because only gopis have the adhikar. Only they are qualified, nobody else. So Katham Bhutanam, how did he dance with them? Then he is describing how he says Tainaiva Kanthe Grihitanam Ubhayata Alingatanam. So means that he was holding their neck, means he was embracing them from both sides. Means each gopi had Krishna on both sides. So, but they thought he is only one. This is the beauty. So atra agrim sloke madhye maninam hemanam महामार्कतो यथा इत्यत्र मध्ये इति पदेन मर्कत इति एकवचनेन चत्र च श्लोके सता मिथो इति अनुक्त्वा प्रविष्टेन इति पदेन च प्रयुक्तेन गोपीमण्डल मध्य कर्णिका भूत एव कृष्ण मध्य स्थितः. So it's very difficult to actually to get the true meaning of these slokas, because in the previous sloka it was said that gopis were holding their hands. Right? Sloka number says Anya Baddha Bahubhi. So if they are holding their hands, then where is Krishna in between them? But this sloka says Tasam Madhya Dvayor Dvayo. So how to envision this? It's a riddle. Where was he actually situated with them? How were they placed in this circle? So he gives his explanation. So he says that in the next sloka, which comes after this, it describes that, not in the next but in sloka number 6. So there it describes that Tatra Ati Shushubhe Tabhir Bhagavan Devaki Sutaha Madhye Maninam Haimanam Mahamarkato Yatha. That Krishna is shown in the midst of these gopis who were like the gems, golden gems, and he was like a great emerald stone. So there only singular is used for him, that he was one and there are many. So that means he was in the center of them. So that's what he's trying to say now. He says Madhye Maninam Hemanam Mahamarkato Yatha ityatra Madhye iti padena Markata iti ekvachnena chatra sloke. So he says here it is only a singular case is used. And then it is not said Atra cha sloke sa ta mitho iti anuktva pravishtena. But in this sloka he does not say that he danced with them, but he says that he entered in each two of them, tasam madhya dvaidva. So this goes completely against what is being said there. That is he in the center or is he in the middle of two gopis? Because here he says pravishtena grihitanam kanthe, he actually entered in between gopis. So how is this going to work? So tatha gati laghvam prakatyamas. So pravishtena iti padena cha prayuktena gopi mandal madhya karnika bhuta eva krishna madhya sthita saneva tatha gati laghvam prakatyamas. So now he says that this is his explanation, that he was actually at the center of the gopis, but then how is that he was having his hands on the gopis when he entered? So he says he was very quick. He was dancing so fast that he was there also and he was there also. Nobody could figure out whether he is there or is there. So that's how he danced. So that's what he says. He says, एवं कृष्णो मध्ये स्थितः सनेव तथा गति लाघवं प्रकटयामास यथा मंडलस्थानां गोपीनाम अपि द्वयोर्द्वयोर मध्ये प्रविष्टो नृत्यति. So he says, while being situated in the center of the circle of the gopis, he danced so quickly that he was also with the gopis who are in the circle, and he entered between each couple of gopis, two gopis, and this is how he danced. So there are fast dancers, right? These days you see that they dance so quick. So this is the quickest dancing, because he has to take care of 3 billion gopis. So he says, Nrityati sma iti ek parmanu matra kale naiva madhya pradeshad agatya mandalastha trishat koti gopi sanritya parirabhya punar madhya pradesha gata eva babhuva. So he says that taking the time of one parmanu means the time which sun will take to cover the space of one atom. In that much time, he will be in the center and with gopis and back. And that's how he danced. So that's why he says in that much time, Madhya Pradeshata, coming from the center, go to the gopis which are in the circle, be in middle of them, which are Trishat Koti, means 3 billion gopis, danced, embrace them, and again go back. And this is how moved. So gata eva babhuva iti alata chakrad api tasya gati laghavam adhikam abhut iti gevam. So he was like a firebrand. Sometimes they say like firebrand leader. So he is like if you take a rope and you tie a torch at the end and rotate it very fast, it will look like torch is everywhere. But it is actually in one place only. So that is called Alata Chakra. So Krishna was more quicker than the firebrand. Yato mandala kranika gatatvam mandalastha pratyek gopi madhya gatatvam tasya tadanim sarvai drishtam. So why he is saying is, he says because everybody, those who were looking from the sky, because Brahma, Shiva, they all came to see this. So they saw that Krishna was in the center also, and he was also with the gopis. That's why Sukadeva is describing it like that. Both. So yato mandala kranika gatatvam mandalastha pratyek gopi madhya gatatvam tasya tadanim sarvai drishtam evameva angana mantra madhavo madhavam chantarena angana itham akalpite mandale madhyaga sanjagau venuna devaki nandana iti Sri Bilva Mangal Mahanubhav Charane Ruktam. So Sri Bilva Mangal Thakur also has explained it like that anganam antara madhavam cha antarena angana. That Krishna was in the midst of two gopis, and gopis were also in mid of two Krishnas. Means Krishna had gopis on his both sides, and gopi also had Krishna on both sides. And itham akalpite mandale madhyaga sanjagau venuna devakina. But then he also says that Krishna was also in the center of the circle, and he was playing on his flute there. So at the same time he played on flute. Tatra hetu garbham vishinasti. So how is this possible? So that's why the word Yogeshwara is used in this sloka. Yogeshwarena Krishnena tasam madhye dayo dayo. Because otherwise physically normal laws of motion will not allow this. How can some one object do this so fast. You have to be faster than the speed of light, which creates problem according to the modern physics. Right? If something travels faster than speed of light, I think it will have a weight, unlimited weight or something like that. I don't remember. Studied long ago. So therefore the word Yogeshwara is used. Yogeshwarena nikhila kala nidhitvat tadupaya mahavigyena. So yoga here means not the yoga like people do yoga, not in a yoga school, but yoga here means the means. Means he is the master of the means. If you have to do something, you need certain means to do. So he is Yogeshwara for that. Because according to Amar Kosha, the word yoga means yoga, sannahana, upaya, dhyana, sangati, yuktisu iti amar. So one of the meaning of the word yoga is upaya. So he knows how it can be done. So this is one explanation. Then he gives another explanation, because this I say, well, this is too much. So he says, all right. Then you take the meaning of the yoga as yoga plus Ishvara. Yoga means Yogamaya, because Yogamaya is feminine, so the word will be yoga, longa. So yoga means Yogamaya, and he is the Ishvara of Yogamaya. So Yogamaya durghata ghatana patiyasi, mahashakti tasya Ishvarena. So because he is the master of Yogamaya Shakti, so with the help of that Yogamaya Upashrita was said in the very first sloka. So then what he did, Yugpat sarva gopinam ashlesh autsukyam tasya abhigyaya saeva tavatah prakashan tasya prakataya samadadha. So Yogamaya understood that Krishna wants to embrace all the gopis simultaneously. So knowing his will, she manifested Krishna's that many prakasas, so that he had so many forms, and so that he can be with each gopi. So then there is no problem. So tavatah prakashans tasya prakataya samadhanam. So this is how she managed the whole situation. But now this dvayor madhye, what does it mean? He interprets that part. So he says, Atra dvayor madhve pravishtena iti vipsaya एक गोपी मध्ये द्विदी गोपी मध्ये प्रवेश संगच्छते इति व्याचक्षते. So he says there are two possibilities. One is that he was in between each gopi, and one was that there are two gopis, one Krishna, and then two gopis and one Krishna. Then also each gopi will be with Krishna. It's okay. You understand? It's two gopis, one Krishna, then two gopis. So then Krishna has gopi this side. So this gopi is also having Krishna with him, and the other gopi is also having, and the other gopi is having the other Krishna. So this is one way. Or there is one gopi, one Krishna, one gopi, one Krishna, one gopi. And then also Krishna is in between two gopis. So there are two ways. So that's what he's saying. So atra dvayor madhye pravishtaine iti vipshaya ekaik gopi madhye dvidvi gopi madhye prayasa sangachate iti vyachakshate. He says this is how it can be said. Tatra ekaik gopi madhye praveshe khyayama प्रवेशे अस्य आख्यायमाने योगमाया पक्षे एकस्याः स्त्रियः स्कन्धयो Krishna prakas dvasya bhujasparsha anauchityam nashankniyam. So now what will happen in the first case, that if there is Krishna and then there is Gopi and then there is Krishna, so Gopi will have two hands from two Krishnas on his two sides. So that sounds little weird. Right? It's like she is with two men. So he says that although it sounds little weird that she is being touched by two Krishnas, but this is arranged by Yogamaya, that she didn't think like that. Because whenever some problem is there, then call Yogamaya. And Yogamaya solves the problem. So therefore, Yogamaya eva tam tam pratyekasya eva prakasa sparsha bhana samarpanat. So Yogamaya what did that she made them think, each Gopi to think that it is only one Krishna who is touching her and not two Krishnas. So that she doesn't get confused. Otherwise she will think what is going on. So therefore each Gopi thought that Krishna is with me and I am with Krishna, and they did not think that there are many Krishnas. So this is because of the Gopi. And if you think of two Gopis and one Krishna, he says, then there is no problem. That is simple. So therefore it says, Dvidivi Gopi Vyakhyane Tu Naivas Manjasam. He says there is no problem in that case. Because that's simple. It's Krishna Gopi this side, Gopi that side. So there are no two Krishnas. So Yam Sri Krishnam Striya Swam Nikatam Manyeran. So these Gopis, they thought that Krishna is right next to me. Asau Maya Ashlishan Evatra Asti, that he is right here embracing me. Tadapi Yat Sarvatrayam Drishyate Tadiyam Kachidasya Natya Vidya iti Amanstha. So although she thought that Krishna is with me, but she also thought that Krishna is also in other places. So looks like that they knew. So he says this is his dancing style. He dances in a way that he is with me and he is also seen elsewhere. Because they did not think that he has manifested many forms. How do they know that? So he says, Atra Madhyago Devaki Nandana Shri Vrindavaneshwara Sahita Evetyahu. So now what about his being in the center? So he says, yes, he was in the center, and in the center he was with Srimati Radha. So she was in the center, she was not part of the circle. So in the center he is with Radha, dancing there, and then he is here with each Gopi. So why is that? He says, Tasya eva sarva srashthyat. Because she is the supreme, she is the topmost of all the Gopis. So just like earlier we read that he disappeared with her, leaving all Gopis behind. So here also he is with her at the center. So that's why Rāsa-līlā does not happen without Radha. If you see the Rāsa-līlā here in Vrindavan, so this is how they begin. That Radha and Krishna will be sitting. This is a standard. You remember we went to see once? And then there is a glory. Krishna actually glorifies Vrindavan first. Then he glorifies his devotees. Then he says how much I love Vrindavan. And then he goes and requests Srimati Radharani, please come for Rāsa-līlā. And then she says okay, and then they dance. So this is the prologue of whatever Leela they may be doing, but this is common feature of every Rāsa-līlā play here in Braj. So that's why he says that she is the best, therefore she is in the center. So Ras Kridadi Karnam, so she is the cause of Rāsa-līlā. Tadiya Satnam Stotra Drishtai. So this is seen in 1000 names of Krishna. That house is the Raseshwari. This is also she is called Raseshwari. Now he describes the visitors. So many visitors came. So these days there is space travel. It cost $1 million. 1 million, I think. Yeah, many people are booking it. Elon Musk is sending people to space, charging 1 million. So here also there was a space travel, free of cost. So tavat tatskshana eva viman shatair vyaptam nabho babhuva. So at that time the whole sky got filled with hundreds and hundreds of airships. Kesham, who were these people? He says Devoksham. He says these are the residents of the Devaloka, the upper planets. Who are they? Brahmadinam. So even Brahma came, Shiva came, Indra came. So all these people, they came here. Atra Atsukyaditi Krishna Nityamsa Eva Natu Rasasya Vilase. So here it says that they were Atsukya Atmanam. They are very eager to see this. So he says that in the case of Brahma, Shiva, all these men, they could only see the dancing of Krishna and not the rasa. It was not visible to them. This is also Yogamaya. So dasatvena yogyatvat, because their mood is dasa, that we are servant of Krishna, therefore they are not qualified to see Krishna dancing with gopis. They can only see him dancing, not gopis. Yes, they don't have that qualification. But the wives could see. See, the wives had the free pass. So tad dharanam tu anochitya bhavat, that it was not improper for them to see Krishna dancing with the gopis. Sarvatraiva ateva rase divi punsham Krishna darshanam eva na gopi darshanam. So therefore for men, they could only see Krishna and not the gopis. So gopis are such rare. That's why Uddhava was singing Nande, Vande Nanda Vrajastrinam Padarenum Abhikshana. He did not say, I worship the dust from feet of Krishna. He didn't say that. He says, Krishna to apne ghar ka aadmi. He says, Krishna is my friend. But gopis, he said. So because even he is not qualified to see Rāsa-līlā. He heard. So Yogamaya game. So this is understood by yoga, the word Yogeshwara. So this is the end of this. Any question on this? Tato dundubhayo nedur nipetu puspavrishtayah jagurgandharva pateyah shastrika stadya shomalam. Yes, Kesha Priya, what's your question?
This may be off topic, but I had always been wondering. I've seen Rāsa-līlā plays at Jaisingira of Śrīvāda Goswami, and everybody was. It was also the gopis were male, were dressed up men. Is it something like the old Greek plays that no women were allowed on stage? Could you say something about it?
Yeah, because if you see the traditional society in India, then women were more protected and they are shy by nature. So they would not think of going on the stage. So in plays Otherwise also the role was done by men. So that's why you still see that here. Because they have to be trained. It is not that they just come for that. These boys who dress as gopis, they are all trained. So they have to be with men, and then all this problem of mixing of man and woman will happen. As you see now at present in the film industry. So it is very well known what happens in film industry, especially with women. They are very much exploited. They may not speak about it so much. But if a girl want to enter into film industry, then it's not something very, dharmic. Because men are very lusty. So they take advantage. So just to avoid that, because this is a very, devotional thing. And also they have to be brahmanas. It's not anybody can participate. All these people, traditionally, those who do Rāsa-līlā, they are all brahmana boys. Only they are allowed. Because they are worshipped. People, when they are on the stage, especially in the past, now things are changing, then they were actually treated just like gopis, Krishna, Radha. People will go, even the sadhus, great people, will go and touch their feet and bow down to them. They are not seen like just like some actors. So this was the mood. And same with Ram-Līlā also, probably you have not seen that. But Ram-Līlā is actually more popular in India than Rāsa-Līlā. Rāsa-Līlā is more here in Braj area, but Ram-Līlā is all over. So there also the actors are all males, and they are brahmanas. So they are very well respected people. Now what is happening is that there are also movies made on Ramayana, Mahabharata. So there are female actors who are taking the role of, say, Sita. And then in another movie she is taking some other roles where she is half naked. So for Indian mind it is very difficult, because for these people, like even today this Mahabharata was filmed I think in the 80s, 40 years ago. And this cast, the person who played Ram, wherever he goes people touch his feet. He is old now. But they treat him still like as if he is Ram, and they ask him to speak the dialogues, and the one who is Krishna and who is played the role. So then, but if the females are acting in another movie and they are doing some other roles, then it's like very difficult for them to adjust their mind, because they have their picture about this person as some worshipable goddess. So that's how it is. So even after these people, they stop participating in the Rāsa-Līlā, because when they mature, they cannot do that role anymore. They are generally Bhāgavata speakers here, and they are very respected. Like you see here, or close to us, this Krishna Chandra Shastri, he is called Thakurji. Devkinandan Thakurji, very famous. So the Thakur means, Thakurji is word used for Krishna here in Braj. So even after that, they actually get the name Thakurji only, means the Lord. And they are respected. Even because previously there were two very famous Rāsa-Līlā parties here, Ram Sarup and yes, Hargovind. So I met Hargovind, both are dead now. So he was telling me that when we are on the stage, and if some of the actor is doing something wrong and they have to chastise. So he said they call behind the stage and they have to remove. He says as long as Krishna is having the crown on his head and the peacock feather, even the director of the Rāsa-Līlā bows down to them. Actually when Rāsa-Līlā begins, the director himself who is respected by all of them because he is actually employing them. He prostrates to them in front of them. So he says that we first ask them to remove the crown and then we chastise them. Then why you did like this, forgot this. And off the stage they train them, so then they can talk to them. So this was the tradition before. Okay, Raghava. You're muted. Okay, you can ask in the meantime. He's trying to figure out his computer.
Mohini would like to know which devas like Brahma, Shiva, etc. were there watching. Those who are in charge of universes, or the different Brahma, Shiva, etc. who reside in Goloka Vrindavan?
This universe.
So not the spiritual ones.
That's why they're in the plains. Okay, Raghava, did you figure out how to unmute? Okay, leave it. So we do one more sloka. Tato dundubhayo nedur nipetuhu pushpavrishtayah jagur gandharva patayah sastri kastadhyashomalam. So at that time there was playing of drums and showering of divine flowers from the heaven. And the Gandharvapatis, Gandharvas are known for their singing and dancing. So they came also there and they sang and Sastrika Stadhyashomalam. So they started singing and they were singing the spotless fame of Sri Krishna in their songs. So that means they accompanied his Rāsa-līlā. They were supportive of his singing and dancing. Krishna and gopis, they were also singing and dancing, and they also followed them. There is no commentary on this sloka. Valayanam nupuranam kinkaninam chayoshitam sapriyanam abhut shabdas tumulo rasa mandale. So besides their singing and the Gandharvas singing, the ornaments of the gopis were also singing. They had their bracelets, armlets, their kinkani which you tie at the waist, nupuras. So all these women in the Ras Mandal, their ornaments, they were also making sound, and this was tumultuous, means it was very loud sound because so many of them, and they are all dancing. So just like if you see when the dancers, they tie these bells to their feet and they dance, so it makes that nice musical sound besides the musicians playing. So like that, they also had ornaments on their feet and on their hands. They all were like musical instruments. So Sapriyanam, Sakrishna-nam. So this was all music along with Krishna, because Krishna also had his ornaments. So atra chakarene tatra anadha shushira tumilani api sangrihitani. So he says that here the word cha is there. Valayanam, Nupuranam, Kinkaninam, cha. So he says the cha means and or also, means also. So this also signifies that they were also playing of mridanga, anadha. There are 4 types of musical instruments. So there are percussion instrument, and then there are instruments which have holes in them like flute and the string instruments. So there were all these were playing, and this made big musical sound, sangrihitani. एसाम चकारेण उक्तत्वाद अप्राधान्याद वलयादि वाद्यानाच्छादकत्वं ध्वनितम्. So he says that the sound which came from their bangles and from their bracelets, etc., was not overshadowed by the sound of the musical instrument. In other words, the musical instruments became secondary, and the music which came from their ornaments was primary. So that is what he is describing. संदीप, आपका क्या है?
Babaji Maharaj, I just wanted to know, like the devas were not able to see the gopis, but were they able to hear these sounds, these clinking of the anklets, bells, etc.?
How they will hear? They will only hear Krishna's flute and dancing.
Okay.
Otherwise it will be like you see some invisible man walking and he's singing, and then you think, from where this music is coming?
I would be curious to know about the music that was played there. Was it that also gopis played these instruments, or were these the devatas, gandharvas, etc., who came with the drums and so on?
Well, gopis were dancing as per the description. It is the gandharvas who were playing. So they were giving them the company because they were all dancing. Except for Krishna, he said that Krishna played flute in the center. Venuvagan. Okay, anything else? Raghava, you can write in the chat.
Now I omit obeisances Pandit.
Yes.
Since the other day I got unintentionally muted, and previous class you talked about Krishna being controlled. What is superior, if controlling Krishna or being controlled by Krishna? And I wanted to ask you that when Krishna fights plays in a playing mood with the cowherd boys fighting game as a game, and he let them win. Does he do that so that they don't discover his Bhagavan, or because he derives pleasure in letting them win, and so they think they are match equal?
No, he's not letting them win. They win.
But, they win.
Yeah.
But if he did, nobody can win against Krishna in anything. I mean, if he wants to win.
No, but it's not like that. That's what you think.
Oh. So for him, the lose is a win?
Yeah, he loses. Actually loses. He gets defeated.
But why? So that they don't discover his Bhagavan and some people defeat him?
No, he's not acting. He actually plays and he gets defeated. They defeat
But why?
him.
Why he allows that?
He's not allowing. They defeat him. That's what I'm saying. Allowing means that I am able to win over.
He would be able to win over, right? Because it's superior to any other entity.
No, it's not like that.
So he is defeatable.
That's why you have to understand what is Braj. He is superior outside, not here.
Oh. But does he derive any pleasure by being defeated? Yes, obviously.
Yeah, just like when you play. So you play, you enjoy playing. Sometimes you get defeated, sometimes you win. As a friendly friend, have you ever played like that, soccer, etc.?
No, chess.
Chess.
Chaturanga.
Forget about chess. Spain. Forget about chess. You are Spain, talk about soccer or something.
Well, yeah, soccer when I was a child also. I mean, But get defeated is never a pleasurable experience.
When you play soccer as a friends, not that you are having this Euro match or something, you just enjoy playing. You know. Nobody cares who wins or who loses.
Oh.
In chess, you are so much bothered about winning, or you just enjoyed playing?
No, just enjoy it. But
Yeah,
Krishna allowed being defeated and being. I thought it was like being controlled. He let the devotees control him by making them believe they can win.
No, that is your concept. Krishna's concept is not that. He's just playing.
Yes. Then in chess is the same thing, because you have to lose sometimes anyway. If
he's always winning, nobody will play with him. They'll think, well, we don't want to play with him. He always wins.
Exactly.
Will you play? Suppose you play chess with somebody and this guy always defeats you. After 5-6 times, you'll say, forget it. I mean, you have to win sometimes. Then you have enthusiasm to play. If you get defeated every time, you'll say, no, I'll play with somebody else.
Yes.
So it's like
oh my God. Thank you for this.
Okay. Yeah.
Babaji, are there still traditional genuine representations of Rāsa-līlā in Vrindavan?
Yeah.
And are there some particular seasons or times when they're...
Yeah, generally this month, Shravan month, is very popular, or at least used to be. Where we went, you're not there in that.
Yeah, when we went, it was always New Year's Eve.
Yeah, New Year in the Kartik also, that Rāsa-līlā day. But Shravan, in the month of Shravan especially, it used to be all around so many Rāsa-līlās. No, I don't know. But they were quite authentic. There were some famous parties that Fatehchand and I think, I'm not sure if they're still alive. These two at least I know, they were very famous. Ram Sarup Sarma, Hargovind Sarma, Fatehchand Sarma. Their parties were well known. They even traveled to the West.